Hello everybody and welcome to today's video, and in today's video I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Raphael Warnock and Nikki Haley. This is coming up the day after. It's coming up very late. I'm gonna try to do this very quickly. I was watching the MLS All-Star game, and yeah, now it is much later, so yeah. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, Hawaii. Okay. No, I feel like I haven't. There it is, Maine. Not Utah. Okay, this is like the worst, one of the worst starts to any of my videos in terms of labeling states quickly, which is kind of a bad thing if I'm trying to do this quickly. But now for the likely states, Warnock gets New Mexico, Nebraska second, Virginia, New Hampshire, Maine, Michigan. Haley gets Nebraska's first, Kansas, Missouri, Mississippi, South Carolina, Indiana, and Alaska. New Mexico, Warnock's going to do well enough with oil workers and do well enough with Hispanic and Latino voters. Virginia, Haley's going to get less rural turnout. The suburbs she'll probably do better in the suburbs, but Warnock's going to do very well with the black vote. New Hampshire actually shouldn't be likely. Let me take that away. Maine, Warnock's going to do well enough with white rural college educated voters, so I do think Haley will do fairly well with white rural college educated voters. Fairly well with white rural college educated voters. In Nebraska second, Warnock's going to do well enough in the suburbs. Shift him to the left. Haley's going to get less rural turnout. Minnesota, Warnock's going to do well enough in Minneapolis, do well enough in the suburbs, do well enough with the working class, whereas Haley will get less rural turnout. Michigan, Warnock's going to do well enough with the white working class, do well enough with black voters, and do well enough in the suburbs. Even though Haley might be a better suburban candidate, they'll continue to shift. And she's going to get less rural turnout. Nebraska's first, she's going to get less rural turnout. The suburbs will continue to shift. Kansas, she's going to get less rural turnout. The suburbs will continue to shift. Missouri, she's going to get less rural turnout. Warnock is going to get enough turnout from St. Louis and Kansas City. Indiana, Haley's going to get less rural turnout. Warnock's going to get enough turnout from Indianapolis. He's going to do well enough in the suburbs, and he's going to do well enough with the white working class. South Carolina, Warnock's going to do well enough with black voters. Haley's going to get less rural turnout. Mississippi, Warnock's going to do well enough with black voters. Haley's not going to get enough rural turnout. She will get enough to carry likely, but probably not enough to make it less than likely. Alaska, Warnock's. We're going to see more and more Native American voters turning out and shifting it to the left, probably. I don't think that Warnock is a particularly strong candidate for Native American voters. I don't think he's necessarily weak, but I think he's going to do well enough with oil workers. For Warnock's lean states, he gets Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Georgia. Nevada, Haley's going to get less rural turnout. Warnock's probably going to get fairly similar Hispanic and Latino turnout. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, Wisconsin voting further to the right than Pennsylvania. Warnock's going to do well enough with black voters, do well enough in the suburbs, and do well enough with the working class, whereas Haley's going to get less white rural turnout. New Hampshire, honestly, actually, Pennsylvania could be likely. Honestly, they all could be likely. I don't think that they would be, though. New Hampshire, Haley's going to do well enough with white rural college educated voters. Georgia, Warnock's going to do well enough with black voters. Haley's going to struggle with white rural voters. Haley's only lean states are Florida and Texas. Texas is going to be much more competitive. In Texas, she's going to get less rural turnout. She might shift the suburbs less, but Warnock's going to do well enough, or do decent enough with Hispanic and Latino voters. Florida, Warnock's going to do well enough with Hispanic and Latino voters, whereas Haley's actually going to do pretty well with Florida white voters and pretty well with suburbanites. For Warnock's tilt states, he gets North Carolina and Maine second, whereas Haley gets Iowa. Ohio, I was originally going to give to Warnock, but I'm actually going to give it to Haley. I don't see him shifting it enough to the right. In Arizona. So in Arizona, Haley's going to do well enough in the traditionally conservative suburbs. North Carolina, Haley's going to get less white rural turnout. Warnock's going to do well enough with black voters and do well enough with the white working class. Iowa, Warnock is going to do well enough with Obama to Trump voters. I still see Haley narrowly carrying it. In fact, I could actually see it narrowly going to Warnock. Ohio, Warnock's going to do well enough with the black vote, do well enough in the suburbs, and do well enough with the white working class, whereas Haley gets less rural turnout. Those could both go to Warnock easily. Maine second, we're not seeing the well enough areas to enough populace appeal. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below. Stay tuned for my next video, and I hope to see you there. Go do the question, or go comment on a question for the Q&A video that I released, I think, yesterday. And yeah, hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.